I am backing out of a parking space now. Oh, just ran over an old lady. I'm joined by Dr. Jennifer Murray, and Mike Walker's in the back, and Cindy is in the back, and we are at Antietam National Battlefield, and I'm just cautiously driving to see if anybody comes in, because sometimes it's okay. There we go. We got somebody in there, so it is live. Now the question is, are we audible? Can they hear the dulcet tones of our voice? We'll find out. And we're giving you a little sneak peek of our tour in September with Scott Hartwig. We're going to end with what we're going to see there. But, okay, good. David can hear. Hello, Monica. Hello, David. We're going to end with, is this Smoketown right here? Yes. Yeah. Okay. We're going to end with our tour. It's not going to be the exact tour route because, well, we can walk in places and in ways that we can't walk in a car. So there's that. But we're just driving along the Smoketown Road here. Jen, what significance is the area here as far as Battle of Antietam is concerned? Jen Murray, ladies and gentlemen. What do you?
So off to our left, north would be the North Woods. The Battle of Antietam sort of begins early on the morning of September the 17th. We'll end up maybe circling back around there, the Joseph Poffenberger farm.
Yeah, we'll end up that way.
We're about to turn on the Muma farm lane here.
Well, you say Muma, I say Mama.
This is not Gettysburg, folks. This is Mama.
Right.
Or Muma.
Right. Down here it's Muma.
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 You can see the corn's a lot higher here than it is.
Ron Moore says, I can hear you, and I bought 2 tickets. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Ron. Those of you who are going to join us or have yet to buy your tickets, they are in the link is in the comments, not the comments, Jesus, the description. And hurry, because they're going faster than we anticipated.
And this is the Muma.
This is the Muma farm.
Here, Samuel Muma and his family escaped during the battle. Of course, the home was rebuilt pretty quick. It was destroyed during the battle by Confederate soldiers, and it was rebuilt the following year, 63. And there's a nice wayside exhibit over there that talks about kind of the damage to the civilians and the hard hand of war.
That is something they always say about the Mumas, is they're fast rebuilders. Christopher, he says, what tickets are you saying? What kind? These are tickets for a fundraiser tour of Antietam, which will be on September 27th. Scott Hartwig is giving it. And then we are doing a little meet and greet. You can get a book by Scott Hartwig and by Jen Murray. Not together. It's 2 separate books. You can get that with your tickets if you don't have them already. And they'll do a little book signing. We'll have a little food back in Shepherdstown. So
and the profits for this go 50-50 to the George Tyler Moore Center for the Study of the Civil War at Shepherd University and Matt's nonprofit Digital History Pioneers.
That is correct.
Come out, see a great talk by one of the leading Civil War historians, and the money goes to uplift these 2 good organizations doing good work for the study of American history.
And you know, one of my listeners wants to come. He's down in Kansas, and he wants to come, but he can't. And so, but he wants to contribute to our efforts. And so he said, can I buy a ticket and you can give it away to someone? And I said, that is a great idea. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find somebody who will match that, buy a ticket, you know, who maybe can't come or whatever, just wants to do it if they have a business, so that someone can come as a couple if they wanted to, right? Because
very generous.
How nice of that would be. So we'll see if there's anybody out there who's generous, and we'll do that. And if so, then that's great. If not, well, what are you gonna do? All right, so far we're doing well with our signal here. We're gonna go to the Bloody Lane. Jen, what do you know off the top of your head about the Bloody Lane?
So I think when we talk about the Battle of Antietam, we tend to do it in 3 pretty distinct phases, and we're moving into the kind of later half of the morning into the second phase. The Bloody Lane, no doubt one of the most iconic spots on any Civil War battlefield, certainly so here at Antietam. And this will be a site of about 3 hours of fighting on September 17th. And the U.S. Army, and this will actually relate to Scott's tour when we talk about the West Woods and how Sumner's 2nd Corps is really split in the fighting on the 17th, with Sedgwick, who we'll talk about in the West Woods, but the other 2 divisions coming here and striking along this position, and incredibly bloody fighting in this sunken road.
Now, was this a farm lane or was this like an actual road that...
Yeah, it's a farm lane.
It's a farm lane,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would, it seems on the surface to be a good idea to be in a sunken lane until you realize that the Union are coming over the hill in front of you.
Yeah.
So
It kind of reminds me of the Emmetsburg Road when we talk about Pickett's Charge. You know, what happens when those Confederates on July the 3rd get into the roadbed, because these roads are so well traveled, how they provide a little bit of cover, but it's deceptive at the same time, and it's also a trap.
Yes, yes. And a bloody one at that. Rich Snyder says, I had an ancestor with the 130th PA, lost his left arm at Antietam. Well, there you go.
What unit is, or corps is that, Rich? The 130th PA? Where are they at?
Yeah, that's a good question. He hasn't answered yet. There's a delay. It's a gorgeous day down here, by the way. My favorite kind of day. Hazy, hot, and humid. Fluffy clouds and miserable people.
It was kind of busy. We popped in the visitor center, and kind of a busy day. Antietam Battlefield gets about 300,000 people a year. Not bad,
Yeah.
for an area that's still sort of a time capsule. I think that's what people like about
That's what I love about it here.
Antietam. It's not commercialized or bastardized with some of the modern trappings that we see at other Civil War battlefields.
Not a McDonald's in sight, nor a beaver pond. So it's beautiful. And like the modern intrusions you see are maybe like the houses on top of the hill, the mountain across from us there. But I mean, for all you know, that could be a house built in 1840. You can't make out the details of it. So you could imagine, if you have a good imagination, that you're back in 1862.
And I'll tell you, and Matt and Cindy, we should do this in December. The first Saturday in December, they do the luminary here at Antietam. Michael and I have seen that several times, and they put the candles, 23,000, in those bags, and they're scattered all around the battlefield. And you drive along the tour route, and when you think, we parrot these statistics, or we say them so frequently that they tend to lose maybe their meaning or their impact. But when you see 23,000 candles, it is such a somber experience. And it's well worth it, folks, the first Saturday in December to do the luminary. You will not regret it.
I've said a couple times where, like, I've been to football game, baseball game, whatever, where you see tens of thousands of people, right?
You're a big sporter.
Oh, huge. Yeah. Huge. Love the sports. And my favorite part of a baseball game is when they win a touchdown.
Yes.
And it's just, it's a lot of excitement, the crowd cheering and the hot dogs. And so a cemetery is up on our left here, folks, as we come through into the trees. But anyway, I've seen 50,000, 60,000 people at a football game, but that's in the context of a football game. And I wasn't thinking about casualties. I wasn't, 50,000 is Gettysburg. 23,000 is Antietam. You can't imagine that and that's dead and wounded. That's not sitting neatly in chairs in a stadium. That's dead and wounded, laying on a battlefield, bloody, mangled, in pieces. It's a horror, and we have to come. Cindy, let's make a point to that, because I've been wanting to come for like 6 years, and I never do.
Folks, if you get down to Antietam, walk through the National Cemetery, there's 4,776 federal dead buried in there. making it a larger national cemetery for Civil War dead than Gettysburg, in fact. But that's not just the Battle of Antietam, it's the other fighting in and around Maryland in 62 and 64 that are buried there. And George McClellan came in the 1880s, mid-1880s, for the Memorial Day address, his visit back to Antietam, which sort of imagine McClellan coming back in the 1880s to this battlefield that so much shaped his legacy.
Yeah.
In his own lifetime and for generations after.
I can't imagine what that's like for anybody, whether it's a grunt or a general, to come back to a battlefield. I guess if you've seen so many of them, it's no big deal to come back to, but it's got to be surreal in some way or another.
Yeah, and of course McClellan figures very prominently and obviously into the story at Antietam, and he has very fervent fans and very enthusiastic detractors. He's a person that's incredibly polarizing.
I need to take another look at McClellan though, because I have, you know how you're one of the people taking another look at Meade, and many other people have done that in the last, say, 10 or 20 years, and Meade's getting a new look. I very much have the old-fashioned view of McClellan, and I think I need to kind of look at him again. It looks like WF Chaz says, I'm buying a ticket. This is going to be a great day. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We guarantee it.
Yeah, Scott Hartwig, of course, spent his Park Service career at Gettysburg, but he's had this long abiding passion for the study of Antietam. When I worked at Gettysburg as a seasonal, Scott was working on his Antietam books, and the first one came out in 2012 or 2013. This tomb to talk about the campaign getting up to September 17th, and then I dread the thought of the place. Absolutely, the magisterial study on the Antietam battle. And will stand that way, I suspect, for generations to come.
And the thing that's so good about it, it's somebody said it's like the Coddington of Antietam, and I said yes, it's readable.
Right.
It's it has all the information that you have in Coddington, but Scott is such a great writer, and he chooses really good anecdotes to share and accounts to share and everything, and it's beautifully written.
I say when I talk about that, like, you can hear Scott in, it's his public history skills. It's his skills of so many thousands of tours out on the battlefield. So it will be a great day, really immersive experience with one of the best in the business.
Rich Snyder says the 130th was in the 2nd Corps and fought on the sunken road.
Okay.
They literally, that's probably why he mentioned it at that point.
Okay.
They literally got their girls, I'm sorry, there's a glare. They got their guns a week before.
Or their girls.
Or their girls.
Okay.
James Thompson says the illumination is awesome. Grant says nobody loves sports more than Matt. That's THAN Grant. Valerie says, is there any good books about Antietam? I've been reading mostly about Gettysburg. Well, we just talked about a really good one. And Valerie, if you come to our tour in September, when you purchase the ticket, you can click, give me a book. And Scott will bring a book for you. He'll sign it. He'll talk to you. And it'll be a great time. Meet some really good people too. That's the one thing I like to stress about our events, Jen, is the people that come to them are great people. We have a lot of, Rich Snyder's one of them. You know Rich.